Hi boys and girls, how are you? It's good to see you all. I'm out in my yard today after I took a little walk, and I thought I'd take a little walk around my yard now to see what's going on this first full day of spring. A lot of the shoots and the little green plants are starting to poke up out of the ground after a long winter's sleep, and I like to garden. So I do like to spend a lot of time in my yard with all the plants and flowers that I've planted over the years. And at this time of the year, what I do is I kind of walk around and see what's going on after all these months in winter. So I'm going to take you on a little tour and we'll discover a few new things along the way. Walking across my yard, I'm heading to one of my favorite spots in my yard. It's my little garden shed. It's where I keep all of my gardening equipment, my shovels, my rakes, my garden gloves, my pots, and potting soil. And on a day like today, what I like to do, because I like spending time in my garden, is to come out and kind of take a look around and see what's starting to come up out of the ground after a long winter's sleep. You're going to notice that there are a lot of dead leaves. It doesn't really look that pretty, but those leaves are important. In the fall, when they come off the trees, we rake most of them off of our yard, but we like to keep a lot of them there because they protect all the plants through those long winter months. They protect them from the snow, they protect them from the rain, the ice, and the wind. So the first thing I might do is to start raking out those leaves to let those new little green plants get a lot of sunshine. Okay, so let's keep coming down this end of the garden. And this is one of my favorite plants, my hydrangea bush, which doesn't look like much now. Just a lot of brown sticks coming out of the ground. But if you look carefully, can you see pretty green leaves that are starting to grow? Let's count them. Let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, and there's a small one, 4 just starting. By the summertime, this bush will be covered with green leaves, and then we'll get some pretty purple and pink flowers. One of my favorites. Behind it, it's a plant called Rose of Sharon. These I got from my mother's garden many years ago. And then behind it, that real tall tree is the pussy willow tree, which is just starting to get some early spring blooms on them, and I'm going to show you what they look like. Right over here. Okay, on this bench, I've got a pussy willow branch with the little buds on it. They're very, very soft when you touch them. So that's one of the earliest spring blossoms to come out. Okay, so on a day like today, an early spring day, I might come out to take a look around to see what's going on in the garden. And this is what I would use. I'd use a nice tiny rake to start raking out the dead leaves, doing it gently. And the reason I use a small rake is to not disturb all the new plants. So in here you see a lot of green ivy that stays green all winter, and also some plants called pachysandra with those white flowers. So they stick around most of the winter. But underneath are all those little new green shoots. Here are my garden gloves, which I like to wear. But I'm not going to pull away all the dead leaves yet, because even though it's spring, it still can get cold. So we want to protect them a little bit longer. So let me take you down this way. I'll show you one of my bird houses. And if we move down a little farther, I think there are some green shoots coming up right over here, some healthy new plants. There we go, look at those, they're pretty. And these look healthy. I think these are lilies coming up. It's always a surprise to me every year because after the long winter, I kind of forget what's planted in my garden. But if I come up this way, this tall climbing plant is called honeysuckle. And I like this one because it gets white flowers that smell really sweet. The bees love it, so you have to be careful. But bees are good for the garden. They help all these plants grow. And again, you're not seeing much but brown because all those new little plants are just poking their heads out. And those leaves are giving them protection. There's another birdhouse. We've got some other plants, some purpley colored ones and some green ones that are going to have little white flowers on them. And here's my garden rabbit. You can see he's got a little broken ear. When my dog was a puppy, he knocked him over and his ear broke, but I like him like that. It reminds me of my dog. I'm going to show you my trellis. A trellis is a structure that you can put in a garden to help plants grow, especially the ones that are climbers. They like to climb up, so they need something to grab onto, just the way you climb on the monkey bars. This one is called a clematis. There's the nice green leaves coming. Even though you see a lot of brown, there's an awful lot of green. And this one's a pretty one. And I leave these tags on sometimes when I buy them from the garden center so that I know how to take care of them. See that tag there? And if you can see, it shows you the purple flowers, and that's what we're going to get on this when summertime comes. Okay, so let me come over on this side, and I'm going to show you one that you might recognize from our Compass Schoolhouse garden. This is lamb's ear. You've seen that in the Compass garden. These leaves are very small right now, but they will get bigger, and when you touch them, they feel so soft. I guess kind of like a little rabbit's ear, and maybe that's where it got the name from. Okay, now I'll show you my butterfly house that my father gave me. And those long, narrow openings is where a butterfly will go in. If they close their wings, they go inside, and they have a nice home to live in. Okay, so I'm going to be taking care of this garden over the next couple of months, raking it out, cleaning it, waking it up for springtime. It's a lot of work, but I love doing it. Love being out in nature. I decided to show you one more thing because, oh, look at all these branches we're going to have to pick up after the long winter. So I wanted to show you around this tree in my front yard. I just noticed that all my periwinkle and daffodils are really starting to come up. Look at that. The periwinkles are these little tiny purple flowers. Oh, they're called a ground cover because they stay low to the ground. And then look at this daffodil is ready to open up. The sun comes out soon and it gets warm. They're going to open up and be beautiful yellow flowers. There they are. And I planted all of those. Yes, I did. Daffodils and tulips, they don't grow from seeds. They grow from bulbs, but not the kind of bulb that you would put into a light or a lamp. They look like it because that's what they're shaped like, but they grow flowers, and you dig a hole in the ground and you put them in. Usually you plant these kind of flowers in the fall, and in the spring you get these beautiful flowers that will come back every year. We call them perennials because they come back every year. And I'm going to show you one more flower, an early spring flower. This is a crocus. Okay, this one is almost finished. This is a white one. You can see them in a lot of different colors. And I guess I planted that one too. Yeah. So just another kind of flower at this time of the year that I wanted to share with you. Thanks for taking a trip around the garden with me today. You were a great help, and I hope you learned a lot. When you're out and about, see if you can see any of the things we saw today. I bet you'll spot some daffodils, maybe even a crocus or two. See you soon.